Hello and salutations, it's me, Salty. Welcome back to Since Lessons. Today I'm going over the Motu Origins Battle Armor He-Man. Finally. He's been out for a while, so, kind of late to the party on this one. But he came from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm happy to finally have him. The whole setup is very reminiscent of the Battle Armor Skeletor. So we get the figure, an extra head. He gets two weapons, a little effect, and then a hand. It looks like the same comic book behind him. And the back of his card has artwork with him doing battle with Merman, with Duncan behind him. All the figures that were available in this particular wave to include the two cats, how the gimmick works. All that out of the way, let's cut it open, look at the accessories and all that kind of stuff. We'll call it a day. We got these instructions again about the power sword and the effect. No schematic on what's removable, what isn't. At least it's relevant this time. Here's the comic book. Battle Armor Reborn, first page, next page, page after that, that one, last one, and the back. Here's the sword we get with He-Man. It's a swirly dirly kind of metallic plastic. Not too terribly different from the other one that we got, just slightly darker. You can hardly tell. Both of them are still the male half, which if I were in charge of things, I think I mentioned this with Battle Armor Skeletor, I would have given He-Man the female half on this one so you could have combined them into one power sword of the same color, but I'm not in charge of things. Extra left hand, in and out. He-Man's new battle axe, made in that same swirly dirty silver plastic, as compared to the other Origins axe that we got, which is this kind of almost cobalt gray color, I don't know. We got the alternate head, which is vintage inspired, and I very much appreciate. The vintage He-Man I have is a little worse for wear. I assume this is the one from childhood. It was with all my childhood toys that my mom handed off to me, but I don't remember him, having intact legs. So anyway, I think it's pretty accurate, using my imagination to fix the colors and replace the paint and repair the nose that's missing. And we got this blast effect which plugs onto the sword, and it's got some weight to it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like Prince Adam calling the power of Grayskull to turn into He-Man or what it's for, but you have one opening two different ways. You have the kind of thin slit there in the middle, which you use with one half of the power sword. The other opening there, which you can see is slightly wider, is made for both halves to fit a little bit easier. The power sword complete in the hand is able to support no problem. Just He-Man's half also supports it with no real problems. That brings us to Battle Armor He-Man, which they gave us a new head, as compared to the other Origins head that we got. This one's surprised, I guess. I think it's supposed to be a battle yell, but he just looks surprised. You can see a change in color on the bracers, change in color on the furry breeches, and a change in color in the boots. There are two known versions of this figure. One has slightly duller armor, the other one has slightly brighter, and I forget which one is which, but one of them has colored laces on the boots, where this one doesn't. So I forget which combination is which, but there's a variant out there evidently. Just like Battle Armor Skeletor, this He-Man has a place to hold his power sword, where a complete power sword will also fit. So does a half by itself, and so will the battle axe. That's pretty much the rundown on him. Like Battle Armor Skeletor, you roll the drum all the way back, and you end up with the normal one. You just kind of press on it, and it'll flip through the other ones with no real problems. And just like Battle Armor Skeletor, you can't pull these arms out, unfortunately. He is modular at the waist and the head, however, and the boots and the wrists, as per usual. Speaking of, that's what he looks like with the vintage head, and the skin tones don't quite match. But I think that's more to do with the paint up here, because I'm pretty sure they painted flesh over silver. I think that's pretty much where that's coming from. If you're curious, that's what he looks like with the other Origins head. That's what the other Origins He-Man looks like with the Battle Armor head, and what he looks like with the vintage head. Alright, let's go ahead and go over articulation. With this head, he looks up that far, looks down that far, side to side, tilt, and swapping heads because the hair length is different. He looks up further, looks down that far. Side to side doesn't change, tilt doesn't change. I'm just going to leave this head on for the rest of the review. Shoulder spins 360 with no problem. Comes up a hair over 90. Single joint in the elbow comes up to almost a 90. Elbow swivel, wrist swivel, pivot in and out, swivel in the waist, kicks forward that far, kicks back that far, kicks out. Single joint in the knee comes up that far, knee swivel, boot swivel, ankle goes back, forward, and ankle rocker. There he is next to the other Origins He-Man, next to Vintage He-Man, next to Buzzsaw Hordak, next to Merman, next to Evil N, Ram-Man Tim, Beastman, next to Manny Faces, and next to Battle Armor Skeletor. And that's all I got for you. I very much like the new vintage head. While it's nice to get extra things like this, I could have done without it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, where I'm going to put it. No idea. Doesn't mean I won't find a use for it, but it just seems like not really necessary. Not a big fan of this head either. That's probably going to go in a bucket somewhere. You let me know what you think down below. Do you like Battle Armor He-Man? Like Battle Armor Skeletor? Is he your favorite version of He-Man? Is this the one that you are looking forward to the most, or trying to find the hardest, or what have you? If it's your first time on the channel today and you like what you saw, then all I ask is that you click like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It's a great way to help me out, and I very much appreciate it when you do. And I do thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with me today. So, until next time, I'm Salty. signing off.